Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late December 2022. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's going on for the lovely Geminis. I hope you're all very festive and merry and fabulous, which I'm sure you are. Let's shuffle it up one time here. What do we got for my friends? And yeah, we're just going to look at this first card real quick, then we'll get into the full tarot reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. Let's get it going here. What's up with my Gemini friends? My guys, talk to me. Okay, yeah, the deck is being specific now. I always like that. So we do have this big card that could represent the unseen, but it's also extremely spiritual. So this card does remind me of the Hierophant quite a bit. And with that being said, that means it does have a lot of layers that we need to unpack. Before we do, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the December subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But into the reading, enough of the promo. Have a look at this card. Very interesting imagery, right? So you see this individual, they're blindfolded, and there's all these different spiritual emblems here, all different kinds, right? Almost all of them, to be honest. So when I see this card, I do think of the unseen. So the etheric realm, very spiritual in nature. A lot of you could be extra invested in your own personal spirituality in this time. You might need to do some spiritual exercises with a card like this, on a knowledge quest as well. But always the fact that this person is blindfolded might be telling us that there's something right outside your view that you're not quite connecting with just yet. So hopefully we could really tie in and see. Now, it is also very similar to the Hierophant, like I said, so it can speak about the day-to-day life, the monotony of day-to-day life. So maybe a lot of you are feeling bored by routine. But let's get into tarot. I always say with that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a footnote for us. But yeah, let's get you 3 cards in the upright before we get the intuitive, juicy stuff. Shuffle it up for Gemini, please, my guides. Talk to my friends. What do we got? So, last week's reading was titled A Sudden Change. And that seems to be a theme I've been getting for the Gemini readings, like in recent weeks and months. There's a lot of transformation, metamorphosis. But the one last week did seem like a little bit more sudden, like something changing out of nowhere, not necessarily bad. So hopefully there was a good positive change in your life, okay? But let's see what we have for you this week. As I always say, you know, energy is always flowing. It's never set in stone. We're only looking at a snapshot here. So only take it how it hits for you, okay? And we could be seeing your energy or someone else's. So let's get 3 out here for Gemini, please. Okay, yeah, action. So this movement, this action is still here. Either it happening or someone wanting it with this Knight of Wands. Okay, that could be something coming in hot. Okay, let's get 2 more. Could be something or someone coming in hot. Okay, 4 cups. So it's interesting that we have the world of action and the material, but now the realm of thought with the 4 of cups. So you might be thinking, daydreaming a little more than usual. Could be something heavy on your mind. Now here's the spirituality. We have the Magician taking up the back end. So this is going to be a very layered reading, Gemini. And I mean, the air sign readings generally are super layered and nuanced. But let's go through. I'll give you the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get the juicy intuitive messages. So like I was saying, the way this energy is flowing is we're starting off with a lot of action or want for action. So there could be second guessing because the Knight of Wands into the 4 of Cups, it's like, do I, don't I? Do I want this? Do I not want it? It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back type of energy. But the Knight of Wands could just represent a fire sign in your life, so Aries, Leo, Sag. And to me, it is one of the faster cards, very similar to the Knight of Swords, similar to the Chariot, where something could be coming in hot. This is a fiery, explosive type of energy. Now, if this doesn't represent an individual or a person in your life, it could be someone who's a party animal, living it up, partying it up. Some of you might be in that mode. But when I get the Knight of Wands, I think like, all right, something is coming at you really, really quick with this heavy energy. So we want to see what that could be. Hopefully it's a win. Hopefully it's something you want. Now, moving to the center, we have the 4 of Cups, one of my bigger cards of the thought process. So a lot of you could have something very heavy on your mind, or you're linked to somebody that has something very heavy on their mind. They're thinking quite a lot, stuck up in their brain, stuck up in their head. There's a lot of daydreaming here and a lot of thought going into something. Now, it's interesting that we have the Magician on the back end, and I'll explain that a little further, but somebody could be purposely trying to manifest something here. But the Four of Cups, I always say don't get stuck in the headspace too long, or we really need to clarify and see what it says, right? So we could be seeing somebody's thought process here, or what they're really thinking about. Now, moving to the back end, or like, what were they thinking? For some reason, that just popped in my head, like, what were they thinking? But on the back end, we have the Magician, the biggest card of manifestation in the whole entire deck. And that's why I was saying, like, with this action, with this thought, especially with the Four of Cups, and it's just giving me that heavy thought action. Just know that thoughts become things, or something you're thinking about, or something you could be dwelling on could be creating something. Okay, I don't want to say more of the same, but somebody's thoughts, like their intent thoughts, could be creating something with this Magician. Now, this is a heavy energetical power. It's like channeling energy as well. So a lot of you could be extra sensitive to the vibes around you in this time, like feeling those things in a strong way. But I always say we're going to see what's being created when we have this Magician. Once again, this is a card of spirituality. It's a card of ritual as well. And in its rougher sense, the Magician could represent somebody who's trying to control something, control an outcome. So let's dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, so we're going to get one shuffle in here. Let's reset this deck for you, Gemini. See what's going on. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reader is just telling you from their interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's see what's up with that Knight of Wands. And if you're a tarot reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Gemini, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. So, Knight of Wands, why is it here? Why is that Knight of Wands here? Thank you. Yeah, this is somebody who's upset here, okay? Because the Knight of Cups is showing up in reverse. So there could be somebody that like you're not talking to, or you might be ignoring for whatever reason. And I'm just catching the vibe here that this is somebody who's upset about something. They're upset, angry, mad. Take that for what it's worth, right? Now, I don't know if this person is upset with you or you're upset with them, but in the coming days and weeks, there's a very big possibility that someone might step on your toes, or you might step on somebody else's with this Knight of Cups in reverse. Once again, this is that pump fake action, right? Like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Like I'm coming in hot, and never mind. So beware of things like that. Beware of like pump fake situations where you think something's picking up steam, but then it reverts. Okay, beware of things like that for sure when we have this type of energy. For some of you, you might just be duking it out with a water sign, right? But to me, this feels like somebody might be emotionally unstable with this Knight of Cups in reverse under the Knight of Wands. Like somebody's upset, right? They're upset, they're angry, they're mad, and unstable for whatever reason. Let's keep moving, right? It's not your problem if someone else is unstable, right? Let's see what's up with that Four of Cups. Can't control how someone else feels, right? So why is that Four of Cups here? Okay. Six of Wands. Yeah, I do still see somebody trying to like see the silver lining of something as well, right? You might be a point in time, or you might be dealing with situations or issues where you're trying to see the silver lining of it, or see what lessons you could have learned. Now, this could be very good. Like I said, if you're purposely manifesting something, whether it's a win or a victory or a triumph of some kind, that could come through, especially when we see what clarifies this Magician on the back end. But we got the Six of Wands underneath the Four of Cups. A lot of you really could be trying to see the silver lining of someone or something here. Like, yeah, well, they might fly off the handle a little bit, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. But a lot of you, if you're not purposely manifesting, Spirit might be asking you to do so, right? Like really focus on what it is you want, be very specific about it, and channel that thought energy and the action, because it's not just about thoughts. You have to meet the universe halfway. So that's a big vibe I'm picking up here. I'll show you both of these. Take whichever one hits. If neither of them hit, this could just be how someone is feeling, right? Where they're trying to see the good times or see the silver lining, okay? So let's go in on that Magician. I don't want to really pound that home too much. It is what it is, right? But there is that heavy thought action here. Someone's up in their head, that's for sure. or needs to be. They need to think, take a time out and think. So let's see what's up with the Magician here. Some of you, that could be it. Maybe you put someone in timeout. Yeah. All right, we have the Empress in reverse underneath this Magician. Don't let anybody else try to control your destiny, if that makes sense, or don't let anybody try to control your outcomes. That's a big vibe I'm picking up here. Because under a card of creation, when we get the Empress in reverse, like I'm getting that smothery type of feeling. A lot of you could be in that mode where you're feeling like smothered or controlled, like somebody's like trying to throw a wet blanket on you. So beware of stuff like that. Don't let anybody control you or try to control your happiness in this time. But I don't want to say this is somebody who's like not wishing for your best or not wishing for your prosperity. But this Empress in reverse, usually she's a card of blessings. I'm just getting the vibe that you shouldn't let anybody throw you off your path. That's a big thing I'm getting here. So whether it's someone who's purposely trying to throw you off your path, who's purposely getting in the way or being an obstruction as to what you're trying to attain, put your foot down with that. That's a vibe I'm picking up. Only take it if it hits, of course. But I will say this. We have two different possibilities of manifesting here. This could be two people manifesting different things. One person, right here up the center, the Four of Cups with the Six of Wands, is trying to get that best outcome, get all that happiness, get all that goodness, which can come to you, right? It's easier to manifest positive things. But then we have someone on the back end who might be a negative Nancy, right? Somebody who's like bringing the same old cycles, the same old things their way. So just watch out for that. Let's go through and do a quick recap before we get the shadow card, because we've got a lot going on here. So if you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the Knight of Wands with the Knight of Cups in reverse. To me, yeah, it did give that pump fake, like what, just when you think something's progressing, it takes a step back, or like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But I was also getting the vibe of somebody like feeling like their toes were stepped on, somebody who's upset, angry, mad about something. They're in their feelings for sure. But moving to the center, we also have this thought process where somebody's trying to see the silver lining of something, or they're trying to see what lessons they can pull from a situation, which would be a good thing. Now is a good time to manifest the positive into your life, because on the back end, both possibilities are possible, because it could be a coin flip, because we have the Magician and the Empress in reverse. And I'm getting the vibe of somebody like possibly being smothering, or somebody trying to be too controlling. Just watch out for energies like that in this time. Don't let anybody try to control your outcomes. But we have one person who's possibly manifesting good or wanting to, and one person who's manifesting the complete opposite. So it's like a coin flip here. Gemini, please take a screenshot of that. Let's get you one shadow card. Interesting here. So what's going on for Gemini? Oh, gods and spirit team, talk to me. And yes, this is a beautiful way to end off every reading, where we just look within and see what shadow work might be beneficial for us. Let's get one shadow card out here for Gemini. Thank you. Okay, Hanged Man. Yeah, there could be something that like you either need to put a stop to, or you should have put a stop to it much sooner. And it's a card of inaction. So some of you might feel like you're waiting on something, or you have been for a very long time. That could be a big possibility here with this Hanged Man. Now, for a portion of you, you might be connected to Scorpio. Some people even link that card to Virgo. But the Hanged Man to me is pulled back, retracted, analyzing something. So you might need to put a stop to something and really like analyze it down to the nuts and bolts, the nitty gritty. Like I was saying, I had somebody in this spread that was looking at the silver lining. Maybe you need to see all angles. I feel like this is more about perspective. Now, if this isn't something that needs to be halted at the moment, you might just feel stuck in this time, right? I do feel either way, this could be somebody, if they do some inward reflection, they could clear this Hanged Man energy out and move into something more forward moving. Okay, so Gemini, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet. I'm going to give you the details of the December subscriber surprise. If you got your name in for the November subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced after the Fire Air readings this week. But for December, I'm giving away 2 copies of the beautiful Tarot in Wonderland. This is the deck I used in this week's reading. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. Second, let me know down in the comments which tarot card makes you happiest when you see it. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of December, I will put the winners in my community tab. As always, my friends, Much love to you, and I'll see you next time.